Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Nutrition Diva podcast, a show that helps you put the latest nutrition, news, and trends into perspective. I'm your host, Monica Reinagel, and today I want to talk about microplastics, a topic that is causing a lot of concern. We'll talk about where these tiny particles are coming from, review the potential health concerns, and talk about some practical steps that you can take to reduce your exposure, as well as advocate for public action. Microplastics and nanoplastics are tiny particles of plastic that may be used as ingredients in personal care products, or they can come from larger plastic items as they break down. For example, plastic microbeads are commonly used as exfoliants in skincare products or even toothpaste. Their small size and round shape make them effective in removing dead skin cells or polishing surface stains from our teeth. In facial cleansers and soaps, microbeads are used to help cleanse the skin more thoroughly by trapping and removing dirt and oil. Products with microbeads often have a pleasing texture and appearance, and that appeals to consumers. The beads can also be formulated in various colors, and that can add to the visual attractiveness of these products. Unfortunately, these microbeads have had unintended consequences. Being non-biodegradable substances, these microbeads can pass through water treatment plants and end up in rivers, lakes, and oceans. Aquatic organisms can mistake these microbeads for food, and once ingested, the beads can cause them physical harm and then potentially enter the food chain, affecting larger animals and possibly humans. Microbeads and other primary sources of microplastics account for almost a third of the microplastics in the environment. The rest comes from so-called secondary sources: plastic bottles, containers, bags, and packaging materials that leach plastic into the environment as they break down, especially when they're not properly disposed of. Plastic water or soda bottles that you so often see littering beaches and streams, for example, degrade and release tiny particles into the water and the soil. Even more durable items, like outdoor furniture, can release microplastics into the environment when they're subjected to normal environmental forces, such as rain and UV radiation. Even our clothes can be a source. Synthetic fibers such as polyester, nylon, or spandex are essentially types of plastic. When clothes made from these materials are washed, the agitation and the friction in the washing machine cause tiny fibers to break off, and they enter the wastewater. Since these fibers are too small to be fully captured by wastewater treatment plants, they often end up in natural water bodies, contributing to environmental microplastic pollution. The most challenging aspect of this whole situation is the enormous scope of the problem. Plastic is really pretty amazing stuff. It is cheap, lightweight, durable, and almost unlimited in its versatility. As a result, we've been using and throwing away an awful lot of plastic over the past several decades. And unlike other waste, plastic does not readily biodegrade. It hangs around for a long, long time. Unfortunately, microplastics are now ubiquitous in our soil, in our groundwater, in our food supply. Although water and other beverages are thought to be the primary source of dietary exposure, microplastics have also been detected in seafood, table salt, honey, processed foods, and even in produce grown in soil with microplastic contamination. Not surprisingly, a lot of people are pretty alarmed about this situation. While there is currently no conclusive evidence that microplastics cause serious diseases in humans, there's concern about their ability to accumulate in the body and potentially cause inflammation or other health issues. But this isn't just about individual health. It's a much larger environmental concern. Reducing plastic pollution is going to require collective action and changes at the industry level. And government and other public agencies are starting to pay attention, and they're considering what might be done to reduce and mitigate the risks. Initiatives like the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency's National Strategy to Prevent Plastic Pollution and California's statewide microplastic strategy aim to reduce plastic pollution, to improve waste management processes, and to fund crucial research. And while there is bipartisan support for addressing microplastic pollution, some industries are pushing back, citing insufficient evidence to justify the costs of new regulations. However, growing public awareness and concern can really help to push this agenda forward. In the meantime, I want to leave you with some practical steps that you can take to reduce your own exposure to microplastics and also to reduce the amount of microplastics that you are adding to the environment. Reduce your consumption or your use of single-use plastics by opting for reusable shopping bags, water bottles, and food containers. Keep a set of bamboo silverware and a stainless steel straw in your desk. And then, and this is the important part, when you are ordering takeout, remember to tell them that you don't want plastic implements or straws with your order. Try to avoid buying products that have excessive amounts of plastic packaging. Recycle your plastic waste whenever possible. Do a good deed and pick up and dispose of any water bottles and other plastic waste that you come across at the beach or any other open water. When buying clothes, towels, or bedding, choose natural fibers like cotton, wool, or linen over synthetic ones, which can shed microplastics during washing. You can also install filters in your washing machine to catch microfibers from synthetic clothes. Using a good quality water filter for your tap water can remove microplastics. Ironically, bottled water has been found to contain more microplastics than unfiltered tap water. And here's a tip I especially love. There is some research suggesting that consuming a fiber-rich diet can help reduce the absorption of microplastics from your gut, in addition, obviously, to all the other benefits of a fiber-rich diet. And finally, because this is an issue that can really only be adequately addressed through large-scale policy change, let your representatives know that this is important to you and encourage them to prioritize it. But try not to worry too much. Although there is cause for concern and there's certainly cause for action, giving into panic or helplessness is not going to help you. It's not going to help the planet. So focus your energy on doing what you can and take comfort in the fact that our body has a pretty amazing ability to protect us from environmental hazards, whether they are natural or man-made. If you have a comment or a question you'd like me to answer in a future episode, you can email it to me at nutrition@quickanddirtytips.com. You can also leave me a voicemail at 443-961-6206. Nutrition Diva is a Quick and Dirty Tips podcast supported by an amazing team, including Brandon Getchis, Nathan Sems, Davina Tomlin, Morgan Christensen, Holly Hutchings, and Cameron Lacey. That's it for this episode. Thanks for listening, and I will see you next week.